You're watching Meet the Movie Press, and coming up, we're going to be talking about the Oscar nominations, Sundance, and The Last Jedi. I think that they're talking about me.
The last one?
Yeah.
Welcome to Popcorn Talk, featuring movie discussion, news, and interviews. Popcorn Talk. We talk movies. And now, here's Popcorn Talk's Meet the Movie Press.
Good morning, Simon. Sorry.
Hey, how
that
are
was
you?
loud.
Now, I need to buy you.
Lower the levels here a little bit. Jeez.
I need.
We're
Are
sitting
you
right
okay?
here, babe.
Fool
Are you
around.
Sitting right here.
Fool around with the
You got
nods.
full
Sorry.
Jeff.
I didn't mean to yell.
Yeah.
I'm just so excited this morning.
I need to buy you a new alarm clock.
Thank you.
Seriously.
Yeah, I know.
Every
It's
single
bad.
week. Every
bad.
single week.
I busted my butt to get here.
We were here.
at 9 o'clock.
We
sorry.
had like a little bro
And
breakfast.
I was gonna
I'm
be-
the guest.
I was going to be 5 minutes late, and then 5 turns into 10 with this LA traffic. Burbank Boulevard, there's construction up and down the street.
in Los Angeles.
Jeff,
Can you
it's so
believe
hard.
it?
What are the chances of that?
It's so
I had
hard
no
to be
gas.
Jeff.
I've spent all my gas getting to Silver Lake this week.
Oh, my
So
God.
anyways, I'm Jeff Sneider,
Hey.
editor-in-chief of The Tracking Board,
Yes.
tracking-board.com. Make sure to include that hyphen at the InSnyder on Twitter. With me as always.
Hello, Simon Thompson, at Sherby Simon on Twitter and Instagram, and this is Simon Thompson on Facebook.
And with us today, he may look familiar to you, Mr. Neil Turritz,
Hello there.
Good morning, everyone.
columnist for The Tracking Board.
Colleague,
Is that crazy?
comrade
Look
in
at that.
arms. Look at us.
See?
The bad boys of.
Now, this is not a Bad Boys sequel that I ever anticipated.
The worst bad boys sequel.
Hang on.
Wait.
Will Smith and Martin Lawrence aren't available. Martin Lawrence
I
is
was
always
gonna say,
fucking
if I'm
available.
Will Smith and you're Martin Lawrence, you're like Joe Pesci in like Lethal Weapon. Like, hey guys, like what's up?
I was thinking
Okay,
more.
say
This
fuck
was,
you at the drive-through. Fuck you at the drive-through.
This is the bad boys sequel if they had originally gone with their first call of John Lovitz and Dana Carvey.
Right, that's
That's-
right.
was that the
Bad
original
Boys.
idea?
Yes.
Shit.
That was how it was originally
Thank
conceived.
God. They were
I would
busy.
still see that. You know, Adam
I would
Sandler.
totally- I would still see that movie.
Adam Sandler used his 4th Netflix slot on making that movie.
You see, Chris Kattan and Will Ferrell, I would have watched that Bad Boys. I love
Yes,
Chris
yeah.
Kattan. Mango is the
Corky
best
Romano.
Saturday Night Live character ever.
Guys, we can't be fucking around today.
No, we can't.
We
Well,
have
we've lost so much
a
time
ton
already.
of shit. Yes.
Yeah.
I apologize. Hopefully they'll give us a little extra time in the booth.
Mm-hmm.
Thankfully, no one comes in immediately on our heels. But let's dig in and talk about the Oscar nominations.
Yeah.
They hit this week.
did.
There was a different kind of presentation to them. It wasn't just a guy at a
Hmm.
microphone reading off the names.
Me no likey.
No, we will get into that. But let's start with the big headline, La La Land, 14 nominations,
Yeah.
tying All About Eve and Titanic, both of which went on to win Best Picture. Is this a foregone conclusion?
Yeah.
Yes. Neil?
I think. I think
Well, that was a great discussion.
Moving on. Best Support.
I think it's probably going to win. I don't think it should. I think it's probably going to. Just like Birdman beat Boyhood because it's a movie about Hollywood and people in the Academy love that shit.
Okay, here's the thing.
But I don't think it's
I
a
don't
foregone
think.
conclusion.
I think this is like a fallacy. I mean, about the people in Hollywood love movies about Hollywood. Like, they like them, yeah, but they're not
There's a
just
lot of
voting them
evidence.
for Best Picture if they weren't deserving.
I'm not saying
Yeah.
it doesn't deserve. It's not a really good movie. I don't think it's. I don't understand the overwhelming love for the film. It's fine. It's a good movie. It's too long.
Okay.
You know, the two of them are great. The music is fun, but
It is a little too long.
It's too long,
Isn't it?
You know, I mean, Moonlight's a better
Isn't
movie.
it?
Isn't it?
I think Moonlight's a better movie. I think look, my favorite film of the year. I think the best film I saw a year was Hell or High Water.
Okay.
Okay.
You know, that to me that's a best picture, but it's not going to win.
Now that has a chance at original screenplay, though.
Yeah.
I think Manchester is the favorite in that category.
I would love if Taylor Sheridan won. I interviewed him this week. Just lovely to talk to and knows how lucky he is. But I mean, he's the best writer in Hollywood right now of taut, smart action movies.
Simon?
You see, I early this week thought potentially Moonlight might take it because that's a hot movie right now.
And that is the only competition. It seems like a 2-film race.
Yeah, I think it is. But I watched Moonlight this week. I got a screener.
Have you never seen it?
No.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I thought it was good. I didn't love it.
No.
You know, I
don't love
thought
it
it
either?
was
No.
a well-made movie.
Yeah.
I really loved it.
Yeah, I
yeah,
just
I really loved it.
didn't. I didn't.
I don't even really understand the love. Like, there are movies that people love, and
But also,
I don't love them, but I
in our
get it.
circles, there's a lot of people that are kind of a bit wanky about movies, and they think that they should. We had this with Birth of a Nation. And we had this with Blair fucking Witch, which I watched this week. That sucks dick, by the way. That was like the meh.
It sucks. We try not to use that phrase here on Meet the Movie Press. We're above that level of discourse.
I didn't get what... It was a well-made movie. Well-written. Nice characters.
I'll tell you why I loved it. Because I think that this is why why a lot of people really gravitate towards it. Because you either make an emotional connection to this character through the 3 vignettes, or you don't. I think if you don't, and you guys didn't, you think, okay, it's a well-made movie, it's fine. If you do, like I did, then you think, okay, this is a really special film. I think that's. Look, I wrote a column about this a few weeks ago about the fact, maybe it was November. About the fact that that's the difference that between a good film and a great film, or a mediocre film and a good film, is do you make that an emotional connection to the characters? Or
See, I did with La La Land, but not necessarily the characters, more like the vibe of the film, the Los Angeles feel, the music, the visuals. I had that connection that really touched me.
And I didn't. I actually felt like, okay, I enjoyed this movie. It's a perfectly well-made movie. The two of them are great. I'm enjoying it, but I'm not completely knocked out by it.
But you don't live here.
I spend a fair amount of time here.
You're not a dreamer.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not a dreamer, Neil.
You're dreamers.
What's wrong with your dreams?
I don't have them because I'm not one. I'm not a dreamer.
Do you think that Barry Jenkins could potentially upset Damien for Best Director?
Yes.
Or do you think they'll feel like they're going to give him the screenplay, the adapted screenplay award?
I think he's going to get screenplay, but I think as a director, visually, Moonlight is beautiful. It's a beautiful thing to watch.
I mean, so is La La Land.
And I think the tone of Moonlight is great, but as a film, it didn't...
I just wonder if there'll be, that faction in the Academy that wants to split Best Picture and Best Director.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Which to me is a weird dichotomy, because usually the best film will have the best director and the best screenplay. It's all parts, it's ingredients in the pie.
Right.
So I find it quite weird how sometimes
they spread it around, and sometimes
They
they're just
do.
like, listen, we obviously love your movie. It's getting everything.
Yeah.
So it feels like right now, Casey Affleck and Viola Davis are locks. Would you say that?
Do you think
Yes.
Casey Affleck is a lock?
I do.
Yeah, I think so.
I think Mahershala Ali is a lock.
Okay, well, wait. Let's stick to those for two categories first, because then I'm going to go to Mahershala and
I don't
Emma.
believe Casey Affleck is a lock.
Okay, so who do you think could pull that off?
I think Denzel Washington could beat him.
Okay.
I don't believe that. You know what's interesting is, were we going to talk about snubs at all at any point?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll come back to this then. But I mean, I think that Denzel Washington could give him a run, because I think that it's still possible that even though he has the nomination, Casey Affleck's past of questionable behavior.
Mel Gibson got a Best Director nomination, so what does that matter?
He's not going to win, but that was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And he's been in director jail for so long. I don't think he deserved that nomination, by the way, Mel. But
I mean, I don't know. Yeah, Casey got dragged through the mud years ago when all that happened too. I mean, it's not like he hasn't been punished, or I don't know. It's
has
a different.
He been punished though?
First of all, it's a different thing. It's a civil case.
Yeah.
These women chose not to go to the police, and they chose to settle for money.
I don't know enough about it.
The thing is with
to make a
this,
judgment
and
about it.
we've discussed this previously, if we're looking at a film on its artistic merits, and we're
Which
looking
I
at
think
an
the
actor
Academy is.
on their artistic merits and their ability, I don't think we should consider the other stuff.
As soon as
stuff
Mel
around
Gibson
it.
gets nominated this year, I think it's a pretty strong message that the Academy is not taking that stuff into account.
Well, at
Well, it
least the
shouldn't.
director's branch isn't.
Fair enough.
The
Okay.
director's branch isn't. Now the entire Academy votes. And it was just Casey Affleck was nominated purely by the
I
acting
just
branch.
feel like Casey's work is so strong in this movie.
I think he's
and
great.
he's been winning everything.
I wouldn't have a problem
Yeah.
with him winning. You just said, is he a lock? And I
Sure.
don't think he
Okay,
is.
no, that's fair. Okay, but you think he's a lock,
I think he is. Yeah.
and we all agree Viola's going to win.
Without question.
yeah.
Okay, now we'll go into the other two categories. Emma Stone, is she a lock or
No.
or no? So vulnerable.
No, I mean, as leads in La La Land, I thought the chemistry between Ryan and Emma, as much as I enjoyed the film, there is far better chemistry amongst far more cast members in far more
Interesting.
films this year than those two in La La Land. La La Land is not about the film, it's about the components of the film, the soundtrack, the visuals, the direction. It's really, Ryan and Emma are front and center, but they don't make that movie. It's the story, it's the visuals, it's the music that make that movie for me.
Okay.
I actually agree with you. I think that that's true. I thought that both of them were very good, but I was not knocked out by the performance of either one.
Yeah, they're vessels.
I will agree with that, but again,
Disapprovingly?
Listen, I thought Natalie Portman delivered the best technical performance of the year, or at least as far as
Technical?
Just like she was fantastic.
But she left me cold. It was so fucking clinical.
Okay.
But
that's been a big criticism of
Yeah.
Jackie. It's why it didn't break through in the Best Picture field.
It was
I totally
textbook.
get that.
If you look in a book on acting, her performance was textbook. It ticked boxes. It was totally clinical. It was by the numbers acting. She did a great job, but there was nothing in that made me think that it was
so
skill.
then, who is the threat to Emma Stone? Is it Isabelle Hooper?
Isabelle
Yeah.
Hooper.
Interesting.
And I'll tell you
now,
why.
definitely.
Because the fact that she got the nomination over Annette Bening is a big deal.
Yeah.
But on top of that, this would be a perfect way to get. She's recognized by a lot of people as
Right.
the best actress on the planet, and this is a perfect way to give her a career achievement kind of award. And certainly not going to get. Meryl's not going to get it. Ruth Negga is terrific.
Right,
but
she's
that's
happy to be there.
Her nomination is her award, and I think.
And Loving's a great movie.
I liked Love.
It's a great
And I
movie.
want to talk about Joel Edgerton in a second. But here's the thing. I could very easily see Emma Stone and Natalie Portman splitting the vote and Isabelle Huppert coming in.
Okay. I think that's totally on the table, too.
Something that's being discussed in the chat
Yep.
is, and this has come up a lot on Twitter this week. You've had questions about it. I've had questions about it. Amy Adams.
Yeah. I mean, a big snub, if you want to just get to the snubs. Yeah.
Yeah, I
was
love the
very
movie, and I
surprised.
thought that she made that movie. She's terrific in it. I couldn't believe I was.
And she's
stunned
been
that
nominated 4 or 5 times,
Yeah.
right? So I just think the Academy really likes her, and I was surprised when I didn't hear her name.
You see, I liked her in Arrival, but I preferred her in Nocturnal Animals. I thought that was the better acting
Well, okay.
by some margin.
For real?
Yeah, I don't agree
Yeah.
with that, but okay.
She's just taking off her glasses and reading a book the whole movie.
I
And
enjoyed her a lot more.
Put the glasses back on.
I tell you what I thought was interesting was the Academy. This is several times this has happened over the few years. Is there are 2 brilliant performances in a movie and they don't nominate both of them. It happened with
Yep.
Amour. He didn't get nominated and
Yep.
she did. It happened with Blue Valentine. Michelle Williams got nominated and Ryan Gosling didn't.
Yep.
And it happened in Loving because Joel Edgerton didn't get the nomination and Ruth Negga did. And that doesn't make any sense to me because the performances in all 3 of those movies one doesn't work without the other. As good as the performance, one performance is, it doesn't work without the strong performance matching it.
I mean, I agree with you. I didn't think either performance in Loving was that impressive, and I was actually
Really?
shocked to hear her name on Tuesday morning. But that may be one of the results of like the diversity push within the Academy. Like
Could
that
be.
may make the difference when you're inviting 600 new members in. I don't know if it was like maybe 40% of those were of color last year.
Something like that.
Yeah. So I don't know. Anything else you want to talk about with Oscars about that? So you didn't like the presentation?
I didn't. It missed something. It just felt a little bit. It lacked the special element that you expect with the Oscars. I mean, it's the biggest kid in the playground when it comes to award ceremonies. Everybody wants an Oscar. SAG, great, fantastic. Golden Globes, great. People's Choice Awards, great. Everybody wants an Oscar, and it just felt a little bit lacking in grandiose for me.
Grandiosity.
Fair
Yeah,
enough, but
grandiose.
Okay, but
It's huge.
would you have preferred the other way?
Yeah. I think
The other way is so boring.
It's very staid.
Yeah, it's just people getting up on a
Static.
microphone, reading names, and they're going so fast you can barely even type them out.
I like the fact that they
So
did
your
try
argument
something
is
new.
typing.
Huh? No, I think
Wait a second. Wait. Isn't that always the central
I
argument?
commend
typing?
Typing is the central argument.
I
Come on,
commend-
wouldn't you rather be in the room and have that excitement
No,
when
I've never been in the. Why do I don't know. What is if I'm the press? What do I care about that excitement?
But I feel
I'm here
so
to deliver the
special.
excitement to everybody else. That's the job. So I don't need like a dog and pony show at 5:30 in the morning for me.
Okay, well then, let's take the whole video streaming out of it. Let's just issue a press release, and everyone can copy and paste and stick that on LesterABC.com.
I like that they did something different, and I thought
What do you want?
that
Dancing
was
bears?
commendable. Huh?
Dancing bears? That'd be different.
That would be fun.
Yeah, that would be.
All
But no,
right,
I
let's move
it
on.
just didn't do it for me.
Okay, well, I commend the Academy and the producers for trying something a little bit different.
I like the fact they tried something different. This may not have been 100% dead on, but it was.
Should we move on from Oscars?
Sure.
All right. Sundance.
Yeah.
None of us were there.
No.
But there were some huge bidding wars.
Huge.
The Big Six sold
Huge.
for 10.5.
And we're not the only ones saying
for
this.
12.
Many people are
For
saying
12.
this.
Right. Big Six sold for 12. Patty Cake's 10.5. There's a bidding war for Mudbound. It sounds like Call Me by Your Name went over really well. The gay love story with Armie Hammer and Timothy Chalamet. There were a few things that jumped out at me. One. Have you heard of the horror movie XX? It's a horror anthology.
Yes,
by all
I
women.
actually had a release on this yesterday, and I'm really intrigued by that.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it too. I saw that Joe Blow gave it like a negative review,
Right?
which it's within their right to do. And then someone, I'm forgetting who it was on Facebook, they were basically like, that's what I have come to expect from Joe Blow, which has like a tab on the top of the site that says mistresses. It's like just photos of hot actresses and stuff.
Yeah.
So it hasn't exactly changed with the times, Joe Blow, but I feel like this criticism, it came from someone within the industry, like a producer.
Vaguely anachronistically misogynistic.
Was it Mr. Skin by any chance?
I forget
Remember
who
that
it was,
website,
but he
right?
was taking this Joe Blow
heard of
critic
it.
to task, and been like, I'm not surprised, coming from a site like this, but he was sort of saying like, of course men are gonna criticize this horror movie directed by all women. I feel like. I don't know what I'm trying to say here, but I feel like critics' opinions are becoming invalid, because
Whether they have a Y chromosome or not.
right. It's like, okay, so this is a movie directed by women. Here's this male reviewer. He can't dislike it. Like that makes him a misogynist or something, or a sexist. I don't know. It feels like another overreaction.
I think it's fine if it's not a good movie, which is subjective.
Right, and some of the
Right, but
horror
I-
anthologies aren't very good.
Most
Yeah, there's a
anthologies
lot of them
aren't
that
very
are- that
good
are shit.
because most anthologies aren't very good.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: is that you're right, and that you of all people know that people have that right now that there's a hypersensitivity, and everybody feels entitled to having their due. And if somebody doesn't like something they do, it's because they're Jewish, they're a woman, they're black, they're
If you're a black Jewish woman, it's not a good time to be alive
One
right
of those
now.
things is, like somebody doesn't like one of my columns. It's not like I say, well, because you're a bigot, you're an anti-Semite.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. If you don't like my column, okay, you don't like my column, great. Okay, I got another one in 2 days.
I
But
felt
it's-
bad for this critic because you get assigned with this sexist thing, and it's really just, listen, I didn't like the movie. I don't care that it was directed by all women or all men or whatever. It wasn't for me. That has to be a valid opinion.
Yeah.
But that doesn't. But my point is that doesn't stop people from going on the offensive because they
Right.
can't take criticism. I mean, it's like the fact that look, the guy wrote his opinion,
Right.
and he puts it out there. And if somebody wants to attack him, okay, well, you know what? If we are doing something that puts us in the public view, whether it's expressing our opinion or creating something, you have to take the heat, whether it's fair or not. I mean, you and I both have caught shit for one thing or
Yeah, Simon,
another.
has that happened to you? Have you ever sort of faced a little bit of a backlash for something
Oh,
that you've
fuck
written?
yeah. I mean, I one thing that I wrote a review for Bad Moms last year, and I liked it, but I didn't love it. Mm-hmm. And then people were like, well, it wasn't made for you. You should have got a woman to review it because they would understand it. And I'm like, well, I'm not a fucking superhero, but I get Captain America, and I really enjoy it.
Right.
And you're not American.
And
you
I'm
still
not
can watch him
American.
with Captain America.
Yeah, but I just don't think. I mean, there aren't enough women directors.
Agreed.
B, there aren't enough female horror directors. I mean, the only ones that occur to me are possibly the Soska sisters, who did American Mary, which I loved.
There's a lot of female horror directors.
How many come to the fore, though?
Women love horror. Like,
They
horror
do.
is a
They
female-driven
absolutely do.
genre.
Yeah, absolutely.
So-
but I mean, I'm curious to see it. But just anthology movies are just generally not great. I mean,
Right,
first
if they're-
VHS liked it.
they're
I've been watching
uneven.
quite a few
They're always
recently.
uneven.
by their very nature.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just thought that was an interesting
Well, I don't
thing
think
that
you can
stood out to
bring-
me. I was like, we should talk about this on Meet the Movie Press.
I just don't think you can say it's because women or it's not women that you can really use that as an argument.
right.
That's not the point.
No, it's
that's
whether
not
you're a
the
good
point.
filmmaker.
Well,
Not having a vagina doesn't make you a better or a worse.
No. I agree with what
Filmmaker.
you're saying, and I think what I'm saying is that you have this is what people fall back on because they have nothing else.
Well, we
And
had
it's
that
got
with
nothing- whether it's-
Ghostbusters last year. Ghostbusters was not
I'm
a great
talking about-
movie,
I'm talking-
Ghostbusters was a fucked up situation. Like,
Yeah.
that was bullshit.
but that was already predestined
Right.
by the fact that it was women playing roles that were previously men.
You misunderstand. I'm referring purely to the people who are attacking the critic for not liking the movie.
I see.
That they're talking about, they see this as their excuse is, well, you didn't like it because you're a man and it's directed by women.
Right.
Which is bullshit.
Yeah,
but this
that's
is
how
the
I
thing they
felt.
have to fall
Yeah.
back on. So I'm agreeing with
That's
everybody.
fair.
No,
Yeah.
I'm not disagreeing with anything that's being said
It's
here.
okay to
I'm
disagree.
specifically talking, no, I know, but I'm saying specifically what I'm calling out the people who are calling out this guy for expressing his opinion. And that's something that we all have to deal with. All three of us have to deal with on a regular basis.
But you know,
and anybody who publishes anything or puts something out for public consumption, whether it's a film or a TV show or an opinion piece, we have to deal with that. And some of it's bullshit, some of it's unfair, but this is what we ask for in this age where people respond immediately via Twitter, via comments, via anything.
100% agree, but we also have this not necessarily with the sex of a director, but with the genre. I mean, I know critics who go into certain genres of movies who instantly, if it's horror, it's probably going to be throwaway, it's going to be shit. So I think it's not just about the sex of the reviewer or the sex of the director. I think some people are just predisposed to not like it on principle because of their own prejudices.
But that's not actually what
And
he's
it works
talking
the other
about.
way. There are people who also are guaranteed to 100% like something because it's a certain type of movie or a certain director or whatever. Francis Ford Coppola gave us Jack.
Back to Sundance. There was just
And on that note,
a few
back
other
to Sundance.
things like Sundance is becoming a new exhibition place for failed TV pilots.
Yes.
We saw a couple of those. Downward Dog with Alison Tolman from Fargo, which I
It
guess
ended up getting picked up somewhere, didn't it?
I don't even know. And Hulu, a failed Hulu pilot when the street lights go on or whatever.
Yep.
So that is kind of an interesting development. Where we could see these shows that would otherwise disappear because they didn't get picked up. They get a new life at Sundance and a new audience. We're seeing a ton of VR installations. They've made a huge push in recent years, and it sounds like there were some good ones this year.
Yeah.
Are you guys believers in VR?
Right now,
Not
no.
yet.
I mean, I know there's a lot of talk about it in the industry, but I just not.
Yeah, I'm
not feeling it.
And neither am I. I wrote a column about it actually
Right.
last summer, basically saying
This guy's written a column about everything. I love it.
I'm an opinionated guy. What can I
columnist.
say? I'm an opinionated guy. I don't get it. I don't get it. I actually was out last night with a mutual friend of ours, Paul Flug, and he was telling me about this new thing at IMAX where they've got this VR installation, and he was telling me about it. And it sounds great for limited amounts of time, but for mainstream entertainment, I just don't see it. I don't get it.
There was the Women's March at Sundance,
Yes.
which made the front page of the New York Times. They used the Park City photo. And I think that's kind of interesting.
And Chelsea Handler should not be on the front page of anything, really. If you ask me.
Chelsea Handler would disagree.
It just sounds like that went over really well at the festival. I was sorry to have missed out on that, but obviously there were marches all over. And then the last thing just with
I
Sundance.
took part in the one in LA
That's great.
because I'm a liberal.
Oh, good for you, man.
Yeah, I did. I had to show my.
I was so tired from
show
my
my
first
support.
week at work. I slept in. And the last thing was just, I did a story about a bidding war for Mudbound, which has gotten a lot of acclaim over at Sundance. And what was interesting was that I was told that the producers were reluctant to sell to two studios because of this award season. They didn't want to sell the Fox Searchlight because they botched they just didn't handle the Nate Parker situation very well, and they didn't want to sell the Focus because they kind of botched the campaign for Loving. Obviously, Ruth Negga got nominated, but that was the film's only nomination. It was a bit of a surprise one at that. A lot of people thought that could have gotten either writer or directing noms or even a Best Picture nom.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I thought that was a really interesting tidbit. It felt a little gossipy writing that in a story, but I guess we have a little bit more leeway at the tracking board.
I think, I think so.
We can tell it.
You're
like
the
it,
editor
like
now,
it is
so
a little
really
bit more.
You get to set the tone.
I don't know. That was just interesting to me. Like, if that was your movie, would you have faulted Fox Searchlight for what happened with Birth of a Nation? Or
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I absolutely would. Because they knew about this from the jump. And they let the
they didn't
story
in
get
front of
away
it.
from them.
Right.
And what they could have done, there are any number of ways they could have taken care of that problem from the very beginning. And they let it sneak up on them, and it got out of their control. Absolutely, 100%.
I agree.
Okay.
100%.
We can move on.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Star Wars. Simon.
Hey, I do love supporting these small independent movies.
Right.
Because I think they need help. They're just not performing.
They're not
At the box
really.
office.
You want to get them out in the public eye to really drum up.
Yeah, I know. So The Last Jedi, which didn't surprise me. when I
like that they took it out of the crawl from Force Awakens. Huh?
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. Like, everyone's going to be looking at that Episode 8 crawl for, like, what could be the have they hidden the title for 9 in there?
yeah.
What do you think who does it refer to? Or what?
There have been a lot of theories. I think, here's my outsider theory, I think it's a character that we haven't met yet.
Ooh.
Or Yoda.
That would be cool.
But
Because
Yoda's,
everybody's looking at...
but Yoda's dead.
Is he, though?
Yoda is
Is he?
always with us.
With us always.
all
Is
around.
Yeah, but also, I
He
just...
is.
He is.
I think potentially...
so close.
That's because everybody's going like, oh, okay, it's going to be this character or that character. It's going to be Luke or it's going to be Rey or whatever. I think it's something's hidden up the sleeve of Star Wars. I think
I like that
otherwise
theory.
it's
I'll get on board with that.
Too fucking obvious.
Do you think it's singular or plural?
I think it's plural.
Yeah, I kind of think
I
so,
don't
too.
think. Come on, I mean it's Disney. Why would you have one fucking Jedi when you can have 10?
There you have it, folks. There's going to be 10 Jedi in Star Wars
No, but
Episode
seriously.
8.
Why
and
would you have
in
one
1
Jedi?
hour? 1 hour on Cinema Blend. There's
Right.
going to be a story.
Yes. Who could be the 10 Jedi that Simon Thompson is referring
Is
to?
Samuel
Kevin
Jackson
Hart.
coming back?
Kevin Hart is all. He's all 10. He's all,
Martin Lawrence, he's available. I just don't. I think it's plural. And why would you, if you can potentially milk this Star Wars cow?
I just
why
hope-
would you have one?
I hope that this reveal lasts until the movie, kind of like the Harrison Ford thing did in 7. Spoiler alert.
What?
And I don't want to see this dissected to pieces online. Please, just like let the mystery.
Can we
Solve itself when the movie comes
let's
out.
Let's wait 11 months for
Yes,
the movie to come out.
I can't do.
I can't wait 11 months.
I can't do not like 11 months of who is the last.
So
Jedi
when do you think we're going to
articles.
see the first trailer? I'm going to put end of February on the table.
I have no opinion because I could not possibly care less.
I was going to say, why not, why wouldn't they do it for the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Or you think you just get lost in the shuffle there?
Super Bowl would be a
Super
good.
Bowl? No, it's not going to get lost in the shuffle of the Super Bowl. It's because people, if you put it right after the national anthem or something, when they first go to commercial,
would
people
be
go
amazing.
bananas.
Touchdown, you
I mean, yes.
Touchdown, he
maybe we'll
scored.
see it at the Super Bowl.
I'm surprised we haven't seen a Justice League trailer yet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that comes out even earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, but apparently
But we've
that's-
seen a million photos of all of them standing around looking.
And
Really
the-
fucking bored.
The question, I think that's the big mission
Wonder
of the
Woman
movie.
texting.
I think that's the big mission of the movie is can they get out of that building?
MK Songbird in the chat says Yoda is just hibernating, period. Hashtag alternative facts.
Yes, I like that. Alternative facts. Let's stay in the DC universe while we're talking about Justice League. And Justin Kroll at Variety did a story about Joby Harold doing a page 1 rewrite of The Flash.
Yeah.
They have no idea what to do with this movie, do
They
they?
have no idea what. Well,
Also,
apparently,
is The Flash basically just one page currently? Dude, good news is we need a one-page rewrite. What's the bad news? All we got is one page.
Yes. That's a good.
Thank you.
We need like a rim shot.
we need a rim shot. Right there.
A what?
The Flash still doesn't have a director either, so
No.
it sounds like they're going to wait until they
they're
get
gonna
this
let
new
they're gonna
draft.
let Joby
Yeah.
do the draft. Yeah,
Right.
I actually heard something about this yesterday. That he came in with it. They really were floundering after Famuyiwa left, and they just said okay when they went around town and said give us some new pitches, and they had something specific in mind they wanted, and Joby Harold came in and said here's the way I see it, and they said that's exactly what we want. So now he's gonna, and he's actually right now producing. He's in Europe right now. They're doing the Robin Hood movie that he wrote.
Right.
Because we need another Robin
he
Hood
did
movie.
Robin
like
Hood
we need a
and
fucking
King
Peter
Arthur.
Pan movie.
Yeah, he did Robin Hood and King Arthur. King Arthur looks good. I think
That's it.
I think it does.
That's
Are you okay? Really?
I like King Arthur. I like Charlie Hunnam.
I like Charlie
I
Hunnam.
got no problem. I didn't like Man from U.N.C.L.E., but Guy Ritchie's generally entertaining.
I liked Man from U.N.C.L.E.
I like Man
Really?
from U.N.C.L.E.
Yeah.
I found it crushingly boring.
Well, you're wrong.
Okay. See you guys.
film
I was thinking of that just because Henry Cavill switched agencies this week.
Yeah, okay.
And, it felt like he needed a change. Like, he could have a much bigger career outside of the DC universe. and it's
Henry
just
Cavill
not
for me is
clicking.
really interesting when it comes to management because I kind of imagine that he's got some guy in New York called Moyle who's sitting behind a desk on somewhere on Fifth Avenue going,
Moyle?
Hey, Moyle, I'm Merle. Hey,
Merle.
hey,
Oh, okay.
hey,
Like he's
I
got
got a
more
great
British.
movie for you. I got a great movie for you. What are you gonna do? You're a spider. Okay, anything else? No, you're just a spider. Because he just made some of the fucking worst decisions. It'll be huge.
Spider and the Arachnophobia remake. I
Yeah.
would like that. I watched that this week. I love that movie.
Arachnophobia
This is 30
brilliant.
seconds of my life I'm just never getting back.
No, I know. Sorry.
never, ever
Henry Cavill, though, I liked in Man from
I
Uncle,
know,
where he's
I
eating
really
the
enjoyed that
sandwich. That was
movie.
great.
Yeah.
Deadline had a crazy story last week about Tim Miller potentially directing the Terminator reboot for James
Yeah, I saw
Cameron.
that, yeah.
That was a whopper, unconfirmable. None of the other trades went with it, but it seemed like there, where there's smoke, there's fire.
Reboot, and also
The people I reached out
end
to could
story
not
is
comment.
What I read.
Yeah,
It's
it's,
like the-
it's that Cameron is he gets the rights back in 2019, like automatically, I guess, like that part of his original 1984 deal that 35 years later the rights would revert to him or something. So now he can do whatever he wants with it, not beholden to any of the Ellisons, and he wants to have the Deadpool director, take charge of it.
Deadpool's a great movie.
Deadpool is a great movie.
I think that Tim Miller is a cool fit for Terminator and
Yeah.
could make a pretty cool Terminator movie. That said, I want nothing to do with a new Terminator movie. Let this fucking franchise sit for like a decade.
Yeah, I totally agree. I do kind of like the fact that they've got James Cameron to kind of oversee it, going like, hey, Jim, can you make sure they don't fuck it up again? Because you kind of dropped the ball.
Yeah, no, I don't think James Cameron could make a bad Terminator movie.
No.
None of the bad, he did 1 and 2, and then he wasn't involved the rest of the way. So it's exciting to see him return to that franchise, but at the same time,
we should
I
have
was
stopped
nervous.
Terminator
It makes me
movies at
worried.
the second one.
Yeah.
Can we just...
but that's not how Hollywood works.
That movie's so
What?
fucking good.
Can I just say, we're talking
Yes.
about movies. Now, nothing goes together with movies like food.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay, I
Now,
like where this is going.
So we all love to sit at home, sometimes wearing pants, sometimes not wearing pants. We love to stick on a movie, and we love to have a little bit of food, right? Neil, are you a cook? Do you cook?
I do.
Yeah. You?
I don't
You're
cook.
not. You're like no.
I had
If it's-
Pizza Hut last night,
If
bro.
it's not coming out of a box, Jeff is not interested. However, if you like food that's in a box, then you really need to get your stuff together and try out Blue Apron.
Food in a box. Girl.
Food in a box, because they are not only the #1 fresh ingredient supplier for meals to your door, but they also do a lot of stuff with a lot of local producers, which is really,
Thank
really good.
God. Got to keep them in business.
Absolutely. I mean, cooking together builds strong family bonds as well.
Local businesses.
Yep.
It's all about local businesses.
And movies, so family bonds, movies and food.
Wonderful.
It's kind of a synergy going on. Also, if you haven't tried it, you really should do. So if you want to try, you need to go to blueapron.com/meat, MEET, not MEAT.
Yeah, right.
Don't
it's like
do
Meet
that.
the Movie Press.
Yeah,
I get
so
it.
meat. Try that out, and you can try some of Blue Apron stuff yourself.
That is wonderful.
You should do that.
And you know who I heard uses Blue Apron?
Who?
Tim Story, who's directing the Shaft reboot.
Does he?
Maybe.
He does now.
What a
Maybe.
spectacular
Thanks
segue.
to blueapron.com/meat, we are feeding Tim Story.
Tim Story directing the Shaft reboot, the man responsible for the Barbershop and Ride Along franchises.
Yeah.
And there's one
the
more.
2 Fantastic Four
Right,
movies.
and Fantastic Four.
Thank you, Tim.
And Rise of the Silver Surfer.
I can dig it. Can you dig it?
Yeah.
I like the idea of Shaft coming back. I know that they've tried for a long time rebooting this. They did the Sam Jackson one,
Which I liked a lot.
but it didn't really go anywhere.
No, it
But
didn't.
I thought Singleton did a good job with it.
Yeah, it wasn't
He
bad.
also gave
It's
us
not a bad
Taxi,
movie.
didn't he, with Queen Latifah
And,
and
James
Jimmy
Fallon?
Fallon?
Yes.
Yeah.
We're gonna forget about that.
Wait, hang on. We're going to talk about Silver Surfer. We're going to dismiss
Yeah, forget
Taxi.
Taxi. Brush that under
Oh,
the rug. This
your
is a positive.
priorities are wrong.
This is a positive spin on this
Okay.
Shaft story. Who would you like to see playing? I guess it would be the son of John Shaft.
The first thing I would suggest would be Mike Coulter, but he's already Nick Cage.
He
so
would
you
be
can't-
actually
he,
fucking
he
awesome.
Would be amazing.
That's a good call.
He would be amazing. I mean, you could just imagine him coming in.
I
and
totally can.
wearing that
but
jacket.
like he's
and the
like
whole thing.
almost too big. Like I don't think of Shaft as like Mr. Muscles.
You could give it to Chadwick Boseman. He doesn't have a whole enough work these days.
Right.
Here's the thing. Does Shaft have to be black?
Who would he be
Well,
Latino?
I I was just thinking that
Shaft
if they
can't be
wanna...
white if that's what
it
you're.
kinda defeats the whole purpose.
He's definitely
Is
not
he
white.
Asian American?
Well, no, I know, but we're playing with this in Hollywood right now.
Sure.
I don't understand the direction of this question.
Well,
But they play with it the other way. They play with it the other way. They don't take iconic black characters and make them white.
Yeah, or take that away from.
I'm just putting it out there.
It's not a bad idea.
Let's take it back.
But it wouldn't be a white guy, like a Latino guy, maybe.
Woman?
No.
Never
a woman
in a
named Shaft.
million
Miss
years.
Shaft.
Okay, that means
No,
it's time to
I
move
was just
on from
thinking
Shaft.
that
That
potentially,
just
you know,
flew
you
right
could
off
play
the
around with
rails
it. What about
really,
Leslie
really quickly,
Jones
didn't
or
it?
someone like that?
Leslie Jones.
Leslie
as
Jones.
Shaft.
Yeah. A black woman.
I actually kind of like that.
I know. It's not a, it's
But
not
I'm
a
going to
shit
pretend
idea.
to not like it because damn you, Simon. I hate me when you make me
Taking
like
out
your
penises out
ideas.
of cat movies. I think she'd be fucking awesome.
Is that 4 minutes or 14?
It's 14
I
minutes.
can't see.
14.
It's 14 minutes.
Dominic West just got hired
He
as
did?
Tomb Raider's father.
Yeah.
I like
Not-
Dominic West.
Not Ralph Fiennes.
Yep, and that is who I had heard it was going to be.
Yep.
Boris also tweeted Viggo Mortensen and Colin Firth. But hey, I like Dominic West. The affair's been okay this season, but the last episode was awesome. And I was just thinking while watching the affair, like,
Yeah.
why doesn't this guy kind of get bigger feature movies? Because I mean, he's so good. He's the fucking star of The Wire, the greatest TV show ever.
Greatest TV show ever.
Yeah, it's like, why don't we see more of him on the big screen? So I kind of like this.
I love The Wire. Needed a laughter track, though.
Someone should do that. I would watch
Sunday
that.
night
Someone
on
should
HBO,
do that.
The
I should do that
Wire.
viral video where there's
Yeah,
a laugh
just
track
like-
on The Wire. That's good.
Thank you.
Okay. Whatever. Tomb Raider. Our audience just loves Tomb Raider, so I had to mention that. Jonah Hill pulled in Michelle Williams to star in his directorial debut mid-90s.
Yep.
That's kind of cool. She's playing another mom. She'll probably do a little bit more mothering in this movie than in Manchester by the Sea.
Yeah.
There's not a lot
Terrible
of mothering going
joke.
on there. Yeah.
Terrible joke.
Is it just me that whenever I see Michelle Williams, I always have to check whether it's Michelle Williams off of Dawson's Creek or Michelle Williams off of Destiny's Child?
That is a little
That's
weird.
a little weird.
Yeah, I always like...
The latter is not in the public eye all that much anymore.
No, she's available.
She's in the public left eye.
Hey.
Oh, Left Eye
That's
Lopez.
I don't know. That's a
yeah,
TLC
TLC.
joke. I don't even- I'm mixing
Don't
them
cross
up.
R&B.
Who's no longer
But
with
no,
us,
I
so-
always
Go Chasing
check. I'm like,
Waterfalls.
Michelle Williams. Oh, good, she's got work. Oh, right, the right one.
I was just impressed that Jonah Hill, got a great actress like Michelle Williams to commit to do this. I think it speaks, highly to this project, which has always intrigued me. I like the mid-90s, about a kid sort of, growing up, coming of age movie. So who better than Jonah Hill to direct that?
Are we going to see Slim Jenna or Fat Jenna?
Or I don't know if we're going to see Jonah at all. I bet he could stay behind the camera. And speaking of behind the camera, Bryan Singer staying behind the camera for
Yeah.
the X-Men TV show.
We don't know anything about this yet, right?
No,
It's going to have X-Men in it.
I think it was
gotta be on TV.
widely
Thanks, Evan.
presumed he was going to direct, but now it's official. I think
Yeah.
it's about a couple who finds out that their kids are mutants, and so the whole family has to go on the run.
Interesting.
Yeah. I don't know. Seems kind of cool. I might watch that. As long as it's not on the CW.
One thing that's a fair point. One thing I'm surprised related to X-Men is not getting more buzz is Legion.
I was just gonna bring up Legion.
I really will-
because
I'm
the
looking
reviews
forward to
just came out.
Genuinely interested.
They
in.
loved it.
But
Yeah, I'm looking
but
forward to
it's
seeing
just
it.
not. I see driving through LA. I see lots of posters for it, but I just don't get the street buzz.
It hasn't started.
No, but I thought. I mean, usually before TV shows start, you get a little bit of this hype, but it's like 2 weeks away. Is it 2 weeks or 10 days?
I'm getting the hype. I mean, again, the reviews
But are you
just
getting-
hit yesterday
Here's the
or
thing:
something.
are you getting the hype from people within the industry or the average Joe on the street?
Jeff doesn't spend a lot of time
Yeah,
talking to the
I
average
don't. I
Joe on
don't
the
speak to
street.
those people.
Hey, he walks by and says, "Ahoy, Polloy."
I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. I think more because it's Dan Stevens than
I love
anything.
Dan Stevens.
Yeah.
Dan.
Love Dan Stevens.
Friend of my wife, by the
he'd
way.
be a great James
Is
Bond.
he?
Yeah, he was
Oh
at
my-
university
dude,
with my wife.
You got to keep a fucking eye on that because
Absolutely.
he's a stud.
He
Dan
is a
Stevens
stud.
would be a great James Bond.
I completely agree.
When they replace Craig, keep it in the Dan family.
Right.
Just
I don't know. Visually, it's just supposed to be really neat. So I'm excited for.
I
thought
the trailer, the stuff I've seen looks great.
And Dan Stevens could have gone and had a huge feature career. He's going to be in Beauty and the Beast. He's the Beast.
If you haven't seen The Guest, by the way, you really should check that
Yeah,
out.
it's awesome. Because
that's the
he's in
balls.
Colossal, so
Yeah.
he has like a big year, and he probably could have gone and continued to become a movie star. So this material must have been really something special for him
Yeah.
to commit to like a 5 to 7 year run.
Well, Noah Hawley is a pretty talented guy.
Right, of course,
Yeah.
the creator
You
of
know,
Fargo,
the
who
the first two
turned
seasons
him
of Fargo
down.
were great.
So, we got Naomi Harris joining The Rock in Rampage.
Also a friend
Love
of my
Naomi
wife.
Harris.
Dude, your wife knows
Yeah,
everybody.
they were all at university at Cambridge in the UK. I actually found my wife the other day found a card where my wife had took them on a theatre tour of America, and Naomi Harris sent my wife a card to say thank you for your hard work. We found it the other day,
Very
like in
cool.
all that stuff.
And now she's an Oscar nominee.
I like to think my wife
And-
played a big
and
part
Miss
in that.
Moneypenny.
That's right.
Yes,
And also the most beautiful woman I think I've ever seen in
she is
person.
Really?
gorgeous, and she's also lovely.
This was in college for After the Sunset. I did that junket, and I came away just thinking,
Yeah.
I'd never seen a human being as radiant and gorgeous.
She said
And
the same
she's
thing
a damn
about you.
damn good actress, and I like the pairing with The Rock. I think that
Yeah.
could be a really interesting couple.
I also loved the game Rampage as a kid.
I never played it.
Really?
I'm not sure what to expect.
It's basically monsters breaking
Right.
up buildings. I'm thinking they're going to play with the plot.
Refresh
somehow.
my memory. Naomi Harris is in 28 Days
Moonlight.
Later too,
Yes.
right?
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
Moonlight.
with Jeremy Renner.
Right.
Okay.
No. That's 28 weeks later. With Rose Byrne.
Oh yeah, it is.
Michael Dougherty now confirmed to direct Godzilla 2. He was
Yeah.
writing, but there was a little bit of confusion whether he was going to be directing. He did Trick or Treat.
Yeah.
He did Krampus. Legendary,
Oh,
obviously,
right,
really
Krampus,
likes
yep.
him. But we're getting Kong versus Godzilla before Godzilla 2, right?
We are, yeah.
Okay. Are you guys excited for King Kong?
I am.
for
I do
Scotland.
like
Scotland,
the idea. Yeah. I mean, I like the cast.
Cast is great.
And they're putting a lot of time and effort into it, so I think it's going to be a pretty polished product. And I didn't like Godzilla. I did not like that movie.
I did. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, see, it left me cold. But I am interested to see Kong. Kong makes me excited for Kong versus Godzilla. I feel more excited about that.
By the way, that should be 2017, not 2016.
What am I doing?
Press for January.
Oh yeah, that's true.
27th.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got about 8 minutes left in the show, and a whole bunch of things to talk about. Let's talk about Split.
Yeah.
Which made $40 million last weekend.
About twice what was expected.
way
which was-
overperforming
yeah.
expectations. Clearly, people were hungry for some new movies, it felt like.
And also, I think there's a taste for good horror.
Yes.
I use it broadly because it's not a horror movie, but I think there's a hunger for that right now.
So, what did you think of the movie? Did you see it?
I haven't seen it.
Okay, wait. Do you want to be?
I know.
Are you okay being spoiled and
yes.
everything?
I'm
Okay.
not. Yeah. Yeah.
So this is a spoiler alert. If you have
Yes.
not seen Split, stop listening now.
Yeah.
Simon, what did you
for the
think
next
of the
2
movie?
minutes and then come back.
Spoiler alert!
Yeah, we'll try to do this in 2 minutes. What did you think?
I liked it. I didn't like it as much as I was expecting to like it because everybody came out of the screenings
Right.
last year and were kind of like, sort of coming in their pants, kind of like, oh my God, it's the best thing ever. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really, really good. I thought the performances were great. I thought it was really nicely structured. The one thing that bugged me was at the end, and I'll try not to do too much of a spoiler.
No. You can get into it.
I paid to see this in a theater, and it wasn't a full theater, but the amount of people around me in the theater who did not get Bruce Willis
Oh yeah.
at the end
course
was like,
not.
they just didn't get it. And that kind of pissed me off.
There's nothing.
But also,
people are dumb.
nothing you could have
People
done.
don't-
Yeah.
yeah.
but
people
obviously,
don't-
I mean, it's in there for a reason. It doesn't really tie into the film itself. It kind of does.
And it was for
but
us.
it's really because, it's for
But
us,
it's
the
not
film
for the
fans.
18-year-olds because they haven't even seen Unbreakable.
No, but these are people who were like not teens. They were like adults. But they didn't get it. But also, it does tie in, and it makes me very, very positive about the Split sequel, stroke Unbreakable sequel, possibly crossover that M. Night is looking
right. He's
to
saying
do.
he wants to do it next.
Yeah, I think that to me is a really interesting idea, and it does set it up really nicely.
I thought the movie was entertaining.
Yeah.
But I didn't think it was a very good movie. I
No,
didn't think it really
fair.
added up to much, and then they maybe realized that and were like, sticking this button on at the end. Now the button is cool.
Yeah.
It's definitely a jaw dropper, and it will leave you talking on your way out of the theater. But you're not talking about Split, really. You're talking about Unbreakable coming back.
yeah.
I think that the idea of a third movie, where Bruce Willis has to go after McAvoy,
Yeah.
that could be super cool.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm just sort of like the thing that stands out to me, and I've wanted to write about this and have not been able to get a clear answer out of anybody. What is the rights situation here? Okay, this is
Unbreakable.
yes, this is a Universal release split. Unbreakable was a Disney release.
Yeah.
How is Bruce Willis's character showing up in this movie?
Well,
was
here's the
there a
thing.
trade?
There must have been some kind of trade.
I read about this actually on shout out for Slash Film. I actually read about this week, and apparently M. Night owns all of that property.
So, okay, that's what I was going to say. Was M. Night Shyamalan so powerful after The Sixth Sense that he could retain ownership of his characters in Unbreakable?
I don't think it's necessarily about power. I think it's just that's the kind of guy he is, because he's very much the commander of his own realm when it comes to movie making.
So now he's the commander, when he's working with $5 million budgets and he has creative control and can do whatever he wants. I get how you might be able to keep the rights there, but I was just so surprised. That is a Disney property. You would think maybe if Disney wants to go back to Mr. Glass or do something else in that universe, they could.
Disney's eyes have now been averted to completely different kind of
Sure,
properties.
they don't care about.
They don't give a fuck
Unbreakable.
about
So maybe they just
Unbreakable.
let it go. But I wonder, was there a conversation there? Did Knight just own it outright, and he didn't even ask Disney for permission? Because when I called Disney after AFI, they seemed like almost surprised. They were like, "Wait, what?"
No, but apparently
That's my favorite
owns
reaction
this, so.
to anything. Wait, what?
Wait, huh?
Huh? I'm sorry. Say that to me
Like
again?
when I called CBS and said James Corden is going to be taking over for Craig Ferguson, they were like, "What?" And now look at him. Marvel confirmed the Black Panther cast.
Yes.
With Andy Serkis and Martin Freeman.
And started filming.
And in South Korea, which is cool.
Interesting Korea move.
Yep.
And we talked about this when I was here last month, that this is the greatest cast of any superhero movie, I think, ever.
It's pretty fucking
Yeah.
baller.
Yeah.
Looking at that cast in full yesterday, I was very impressed. And there had been some question about whether Andy Serkis and Martin Freeman's characters would be back, but they are. What else?
Sing 2.
Sing 2, getting a sequel. Not surprised. Was a big hit.
Did not like that.
They're sticking. You didn't
Oh,
like
I liked it.
Did not like it.
Oh,
I
I
liked
enjoyed
it.
the hell
I
out of it.
didn't hate it, but I thought. Having said that, last year was a very strong year for animated movies, and I think it came
was.
out at the tail end of that, and it just didn't meter up for me. It was fine, it was adequate, but when you compare it to even like Finding Dory, Kubo, which was fucking brilliant, it just for me didn't deliver.
It was still my favorite Illumination movie.
Really?
What about
Yeah,
you guys?
I agree.
See, I enjoyed Secret Life of Pets more.
Oh, that was bad.
I didn't.
That was
I was
bad.
not. I didn't even watch it. But I liked Sing a lot. I thought Sing was it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So you're wrong.
Okay,
Continue. What's next?
good.
What is next?
Should we talk about? We've only got like 2 minutes. Can we get some more time? Can we get an extra couple of minutes?
I'm letting
anyone?
Simon ask because I was the late one, so I
Can
won't
we
make
get
that
5
request.
more minutes on the clock? 5? No, we're still okay. I'm wasting
Okay.
time asking. Okay, cool. So movies coming out this week. We need to talk about. Obviously, Split is likely to take the top spot.
No.
Resident Evil.
Well, you see,
Or Dog's Purpose.
well, it's interesting because I
Good one.
thought Dog's Purpose was going to take top spot this weekend, but it's looking like that's going to come in second or third. It's going to vie with Resident Evil. Resident Evil is predicted to come in, about 12 million.
I've learned
Dog's
better-
Purpose about 18 million.
I've learned not to argue with you about box office. So you put
Why
me,
was that?
You put me in my place.
Hashtag
so I'm
hidden
not,
figures.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna fucking go there with you.
But I mean, the thing is that last night, Thursday night previews, Resident Evil brought in 1 million, which is strong compared to Dog's Purpose, 455,000 on Thursday previews. But I think Dog's Purpose potentially could edge Resident Evil because it's got the family, more potentially bums on seats, more ticket sales over the weekend.
Right.
But I think
The matinee
Split,
sales will be
I
big.
think word of mouth on Split is going to be very strong. So I think that could retain top spot this weekend.
We'll see.
I haven't seen any of Dog's Purpose or Resident Evil.
We've kind of run out of time, so I'll let Neil just to pontificate on Mary Tyler Moore for a few seconds because that's his column today at Tracking Board.
Yes. The modern the way we look at TV right now, the modern scope of the world of television would not exist without her. Tina Fey, Amy Poehler, Roseanne Barr. Name the female star of the last 30, 35 years. They don't exist. They don't have the success without Mary Tyler Moore. She wasn't just a brilliant actress who was the star of her own show. She was a producer. She was a groundbreaking producer and was one of the first stalwart artist rights representatives. So
All right, so make
She
sure
was a real
to
loss.
check check out the Tracking Board today.
yeah,
to check
it'll be
out
up
Neil's
this
full
afternoon
column.
or late morning.
That's going to do it for Meet the Movie Press. Neil, where can everybody find you?
At Neil Turitz, NeilTuritz. That's me on Twitter. And Monday, Wednesday, Friday at the Tracking Board.
Cool. Simon?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Showbiz Simon, and of course Blue Apron. Don't forget, you get your first 3 meals free. So that's blueapron.com/meet, MEET.
And I'm Jeff Sneider at the Sneider, a new editor-in-chief at the Tracking Board. Make sure to check that out. We stand
Check
with
out the Tracking Board.
I stand with Katie Rich, folks. Stand with Katie Rich. Have a good weekend.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, Christian Harloff, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of its owners or principals.